What's going on, guys, gals, and everything in between? You are on the sidelines with the sideline guys. I'm Chris.
I'm Derrick.
Welcome back, baby. Another week,
Yes,
another
sir.
week of
Yes,
epic
sir.
proportions. And this time, we got shit that we haven't even got the chance to talk about. Off rip, you already
Yes.
know it's gonna be a good episode when I'm cursing right off the first
Yeah.
sentence of the intro. It's only right. It's
Yeah.
actually gonna be jam packed, so I'm really excited, man.
Looking
Really
forward
excited.
to it. Looking forward to it. Let's get some housekeeping stuff out the way real fast, though. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, please just go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification button. Help us out, so we can, be shown and, on other people's accounts, help us out a little bit that way. But also, if you're listening on any other podcast platform, excuse me, subscribe, rate, review. Let us know what you guys think about the show. Let us know what you guys think we might need to adjust or whatever, what you would like to see. And just give us a shout out. But also check out otsmediaco.com. Check out all the other shows that are underneath the brand, and rate and review them as well. And also, this episode is being brought to you by Champ Number One Boxers. This is the first episode we are getting this out the way early. Remembering to actually get it out, actually do it early. So yes, please check out Champ Number One Boxers. They are the best boxers that has ever graced this body. I think that I honestly had never thought that boxers could feel as comfortable as these feel, but they're great for working out, great for everyday use. And it's for men and women too. They got, I can't speak for the women's garments because I'm not built like that, but it's great stuff. As you guys will not be disappointed when you get it. So check out the link in our bio. Go to the website through the link in our bio. You can support 2 Black-owned businesses, and if you don't, then you just don't like Black-owned businesses, and I'm gonna put that guilt on you. So that's gonna be the end of it.
We love to hear it. And hey, I never made this offer off the top of the show for a reason. Cause hey,
Yeah.
I ain't out here with the Elon money. I ain't that big.
Yet.
But
Yet.
yet. But if you show me it proof, all I need is proof. It doesn't have to. It got to be a good rating. But if you give the show a rating and you show me proof, I will send you money. I will reach out to you personally. Get your Cash App, get your Zelle, whatever it is, Venmo, anything,
Yeah.
and I will send you money. And in the message, I will send an 8-ball and a snowflake because I got to make it clear what it's for. So anyway, I also need to add, and it's the COVID era, baby.
It
If you
is.
think that
Yeah.
the champs boxers are far away, they're not. I just gotta say it, they're not. There's a reason why I don't stand up on this show, because if I did, there might be a little slip here or there. I'm thinking of the
Hey,
Veins
man.
brothers. We don't want no problems. We don't want no
Yeah,
problems. But hey,
exactly. And that's what I was telling someone before when I was actually doing my promo on IG for Champ. I was saying don't ask me to model them because I'm not trying to get into that Jesse Williams leaked photo type thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that. Don't need that type of attention in my life.
but if you push him enough, we might get Derrick to start the OnlyFans.
Hey
Who knows?
man, that's gotta be some big money. that's gotta be like life altering money where it can affect generations to come. Then there's a possibility there could be some level of consideration. Tasteful.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? Tasteful consideration.
long term, this is what all the sponsors, all roads lead to this. Just know, we're gonna hold this clip sacred. But anyway, let's get this train back on the goddamn tracks. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much for
Yes,
getting the
sir.
housekeeping off the way for us.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
really excited for this week, man, because there's been a lot of news that's been coming out on the NBA side of things that we haven't even touched on because we're
Oh yeah.
so wrapped up with everything going on with the playoffs. So I thought it's only right that we put a little sideline guy spin on it, as we always do.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to be covering and going over the end of season awards. We've announced some of them as they came out.
Yes, sir.
But we're going to go over them, talk a little bit about those selections. And honestly, I think this is the most important part. We're each going to be giving our own versions of these awards out. Now, it's not to outshine them, doesn't mean it has to be someone different. It could be the
Yeah.
exact same person that got it.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to give more voices to this conversation because it never ends with just the award being announced.
Oh, for sure.
So exciting stuff. Some literally right before the show started, we got another one of those end of the year awards dropped. So I'm excited. You probably don't even know it yet. So
I
stay off the
don't.
phone, stay away from it. I don't want you to know.
I was just looking
And
too,
listen,
man.
shit.
No, I didn't see it. I was
Okay,
looking for it though. Yeah.
good. Stay away. I want the true
Got you.
reaction.
Got you.
So
Got
yeah,
you. Got you.
exciting stuff, man. And then we'll go right into the obviously the conference finals games that are going on and talk a little bit because obviously last week we weren't here yet. And I got some crow to eat. So it's only right. It's only right. I'm looking forward to it. But off the top, we're gonna go with the most important award, if you ask me, the MVP award.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
the Joker, Jokic, got it once again, 2 time. I think that's really important for his legacy, and I also think it's very deserved. I was very excited when I found out for him. I know a lot of people that are very close Jokic fans. Shout out my boy Cloud9J. But at the same time, I personally didn't agree. Now I don't. It's not that I don't agree that he's an MVP quality player.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely top five, and if he's not on your top five, you're smoking something, and
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
like some of it. But I think it's if he's out of your MVP considerations this year, you're making shit up. There's no way he deserves to be in that elk, and I'm not trying to disrespect by saying this, but I personally believe
Mhm.
that our MVP for this year should have been Joel Embiid. And I know that everyone at home is going to be like, oh, it's because you picked the Sixers to go to the finals and now you're trying to save face. Hey, we got that wrong. It's okay. But the reason why I feel like Joel Embiid deserved it this year is I think he really stepped up his game in a big way this season in a way that the numbers don't necessarily reflect. Now, the numbers are great. The numbers went up. So
Mhm.
you're probably like, what do you mean? If you don't watch Joel Embiid play as much as I probably do, you don't have an idea of how much his game really evolved this season in a
Yeah.
way that for guys his size is very uncharacteristic. Now, Jokic has the same qualities. So I know it's
Mhm.
hard. Everyone's like, dude, what the fuck? They both do similar things. But I would argue in a real way, man, Joel Embiid really separated himself as far as big men and what they're capable of doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
His ability to turn and face from the post and work off the dribble
Mhm.
and pulling up, fading away. Uh, there's rumors that he worked very heavily this offseason, just doing sort of guard work, one on ones, full court, and every time he'll get possession, they'll say, "Well, you have to work on this out of the post. You have to work on shots like Kobe.
Nice.
You have to work on
Nice.
shots like Jordan. You have to work on shots like and giving him these specific roles to play each time he's
Mhm.
down the court."
Mhm.
And I think that really showed this season, man. Just
I was about to say
having
it.
the ability.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
go ahead.
I was about to say it. It did show. It definitely showed. I mean,
Hell yeah.
I agree. He should have been MVP. And I honestly don't know that you can actually say that there's a right or wrong answer for it because there's a
Facts.
legitimate case for both guys. Excuse me, but what Embiid did this year was impressive. Like he faced a lot of adversity.
Dude.
You know, he had Ben
Harden wasn't there all
Simmons.
season. Y'all must have
Yeah,
forgot. Yeah. And
yes.
honestly, you could argue that that team, the fact that they were as good as they were before the trade,
Hmm.
really speaks to that leap that he made.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And
super dominant.
he showed a level of maturity too.
Hell yeah. Poise,
Yeah,
maturity.
yeah,
I love that the bromance has come out. Obviously now that Embiid is out, Jimmy Butler loves talking about him whenever he gets the chance. And I didn't know that they were that close when they were teammates over there at the
yeah,
76ers.
yeah.
But it was really cool to see him getting his due from someone that's balling out now too. Because I just feel like the way he grew, like he was already an MVP quality player. He was
Hmm.
already that guy
Hmm.
on both sides of the floor too, not just offensively, defensively as well.
Yeah.
See him step up his game in a way that there's guards that don't have those skills. Like
Yeah.
let's be clear about that.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
bunch of guards that can't do some of the things that Joel Embiid can do, and the fact that he can be that dominant force, barbecue chicken in the post,
Hmm.
as well as turning and facing, handling
Hmm.
the ball, getting good passes. Like he's really on another level, and it's exciting to watch. I think the real evolution of the NBA has come in the fact that yes, there's big men, and everyone talks about how there's no traditional big men left. But I think it does so much for the quality of the sport because nobody's forced into that role no more. You're going to see guys like Chet Holmgren, who's going to be drafted probably in the first two picks.
Hmm.
That's somebody who has a very similar game too. Evan Mobley, even
Yeah.
these are
Yeah. Yeah.
you're always coming in. Just
Yeah.
because you could do those dirty work in the post doesn't mean you can't expand your game as well.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see how that affects guards as well. Like I think that could be the next sort of trend in the inverse. So now guards are working on their post game more. We're seeing that with in this playoff specifically,
Hmm.
with guys like Marcus Smart come to mind,
Hmm.
um, Chris Paul earlier even. So I love to see big guys working on their guard skills, and the fact that he's grown that much, and you're already an MVP quality player. I'll leave it there. It's already been enough, but
Yeah.
that's my call.
No, I think that kind of play is going to be able to carve a lane for other players because of the fact that the league is more so wing led, right? Like you get your one or two wings on, that have nice length and are versatility in a game. That's what's actually leading the league now. So being able to have someone like Joel play the way he plays it's definitely I'm looking forward to seeing how centers evolve over the next couple of years because they were kind of disappointing to watch for for a while,
Good
you know.
6 7 years. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And I don't want to call any names out, but like, you know,
there's certain guys that didn't deserve the amount of all stars that they got
bro, like, okay,
just because of the
Rudy
position.
Gobert. Let me ask you something about him.
Hey, why you got to do it? You knew that I knew that's who we was talking about. But
I
damn,
mean, does he's really good at blocking, right? But anything else that you need him to really do, he's just kind of like okay at it. He's not in the upper echelon of centers to me. I mean, he's a good
especially
blocker,
now. A couple
especially
years
now.
ago, I would
Yeah,
agree with that.
yeah. But I mean,
Won't
as a
disagree.
blocker, cool. But it really depends on what team you're on because if you put him on Golden State, which I'm warming up to the idea of him going to Golden State a lot more now. I'm
That's a good
warming up to
shout.
it because he wouldn't have to do a lot of other things that he would have to do on other teams, right?
Hell yeah.
It would
And
make
it's gonna
sense.
save Looney's knees, bro.
And you
Every
would.
time, every time Looney running down the court, bro, I'm like, that's me. That is me at the rec. Whenever I'm playing ball, that is me, bro. I feel you, my man. He takes his sweet time, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It'd be nice to see him in a different situation because I almost feel like what do you think is I know this is sidetrack. I'm sorry. But what
Yeah, I
what do
love it.
you think is going to end up happening between him and Donovan Mitchell? Is
All
is
right.
is Rudy leaving
Now
or Donovan
I'm
leaving?
gonna give you a scenario right now. This is what I want to happen. This is what's gonna happen.
Mm,
We call up Jake Paul right now, right?
okay.
Call up Jake Paul right now.
Okay.
Celebrity boxing match. Donovan Mitchell versus Rudy Gobert. Whoever wins stays. That's the deal.
Yeah, I would actually
And
like to see
you know
that.
why? You know why that'll be interesting? You know why it'll be even more interesting? Because
Why?
none of them want to stay. So do
You're
you
gonna
want to
see
get
two
your ass
guys.
beat? Or do you want to be forced to stay with the Mormons? Like that's a tough position. You know what I'm saying? So
It'd be hilarious because both of them will take a dive.
literally a double knockout. It'll be great.
Yeah, why
Nah,
not?
but in all seriousness, I think that connection is done for.
Yeah.
I think if you're Utah, you make the biggest play for Donovan Mitchell as possible because he's a superstar and he deserves that. Same time, when you're making superstar money, it's hard to make a quality team, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
just me being honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think there's any way that they end up on the same team next season, and I don't think they have like outright beef or like outright animosity. I don't think it's there. I just think
Hmm.
sometimes things get stale, and that's fine.
And
I think
sometimes
it's
things
time to
just
move
don't
on.
work.
Yep.
You see what works, and if it doesn't work, it's like the whole Ben Simmons and Embiid thing. Try to make it work. Well, the organization and Embiid tried to make that work. Simmons didn't care. Like as soon as he got paid, it was just like whatever.
And which is crazy because as a guard, like that's your dream, right? Like, am I crazy for feeling that way?
I mean, if you're an actual guard, he's not.
Yeah, for sure. He's
Like
like a hybrid. He's
he
forward.
needs no he needs to just move to forward.
Hmm.
He can't
He's
stay.
tall enough. Yeah, it's worth
Yeah,
it.
he can't stay at point guard. It doesn't make sense for his game.
That's a good show. And then defensively, you could if there's issues there, you could mask things. It's
You
not a big
switch it.
problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I agree with that. But at the same time, you could still be in that role. I mean, we see it all the time now in the NBA. You could still be in that role, in that position, and still be a primary ball handler. That's not an issue. So I agree
Mm-hmm.
with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't know. I think there's a lot more to be seen from Ben Simmons. And I know every time we talk about this, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Between this and Baker, I might get kicked off the show. But I there's something about Ben Simmons that I've been a believer in, and I'm firm in it. So I wish him the best for his recovery. We're not gonna dog him out again on this show. We've done that
Nah,
enough.
nah. Yeah,
Any other
I think
thoughts on the MVP stuff before we move on?
no. I think those are the two that I would have had as considered MVP. I know some people were trying to make a case for Giannis, but not to say that he shouldn't have been in the top three, but to actually win it, I Embiid made more sense to me. He just made more sense to me, and I think we need to start putting out the criteria for these awards because to me, seeding makes a difference, right? Embiid was what fourth,
Yep.
third or fourth, and Jokic was sixth, right?
The fact that he was six was very impressive too, though.
It
So
was impressive. It was
that's a tough
impressive,
one. That's a tough one.
but you can make the argument Embiid was in the harder conference this year.
100%. But you could
So
also argue Jokic had the way worse team, and that's even when Ben Simmons was still there.
he did. He did.
And it's all because of injury. Like,
He did.
shout out to Bones
He
Highland,
did.
baby. We're gonna talk about Bones Highland later too. That's
I
my
like
dog
him
right
now.
there.
I
I
like
like
him.
watching him play.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I'm a fan of that team. I think next season, like
Oh yeah.
everyone, I think they should be penciled into a top three team, right? Like Michael Porter's back, Jamal Murray's
I
back.
don't. I believe in Murray. I don't believe in Porter.
Really,
Yeah, and it's not to do with play. It's to do with
it's injuries,
injuries.
injuries.
Yeah, like I don't think he'll ever have a season where he's fully healthy. And nobody technically has a season fully healthy, but you know what I'm saying? Like actually
You could
staying
play
on
through it.
court all year long, I don't think we'll see that with him. You can't start your career off like that with a back injury. Like no,
Yeah.
nah,
I like
nah.
how I'm agreeing with you after same argument with Ben Simmons in the inverse. But he's still very young too. Like that's my
He
thing for
is.
both of
He
those guys.
is.
Like they're
Yeah,
very young, but having back issues at any stage of your life is a big fucking problem. Like
it
your
is.
spine, neck, all of that. That is huge. So
Yeah.
anyway, super random. Next up, sixth man of the year. Now this
Yeah.
award I think is really fun. Man, I'm gonna say it right here. I think it's really fun because this isn't something that you necessarily are really thinking about, right? Like, let's be real. It's not something that's on the forefront of people's minds. And for a long time, I felt like growing up,
Hmm.
because the same guys would always win it, it
Hmm.
kind of felt like an afterthought, like almost like why are we still doing this award? Because we know where it's going. There's not many guys that fit into that role, and I
Yeah.
feel like this season there was a lot of guys that fit into that role. So it's interesting to talk about in that way. But I'm gonna let you lead the dance on this one, please. Obviously, the sixth man of the year was Tyler Hero. So excited to hear your thoughts on that selection and what would be your selection if you had one.
um, Tyler Hero did his thing, man. I can't take that away from him. He did his thing this season. Um, I thought it was very interesting. Kevin Love was able to put himself in that conversation again, because quite honestly, for the last what 2 3 years, it's been like, Kevin Love either needs to just go ahead and you know hang him up, or be like that in that Haslam role. Like, you're there, you're a veteran presence, but you're not really playing. Like, if you do play, it's almost like garbage time. Um, to see him go from being in that kind of conversation to putting himself into the sixth man of the year conversation, I think it's phenomenal. Cleveland did a phenomenal job this year, so I think had they not had those injuries, um, I'm trying to see if I really want to say this. I don't know that they would have been in the play-in.
Mhm.
I think they could have skipped it. I think they would have been able to skip it. Um,
For sure.
so I don't know. I think they're built for a great future. Um, I just I don't mind Tyler Hero getting the award. I don't mind him getting the award. He needs to get something, because they ain't getting the championship. So
You have to do them like that, but
I'll
yes,
just play it,
I feel you. I feel
I'll
you
just
on that.
play
I like that.
it. No,
Um,
but yeah, I think it was a good time for him. He needs to ascend, right?
mhm,
So
for sure. And what bothers me about it, and I hope this doesn't sound weird because I think this is another reason why this award always feels a little out of place because it's like, yeah, you're the sixth man of the year. Well, let's get you to fucking start. Like, if you're that good, let's get you on the fucking starting five, right?
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think he could benefit from that. And because the way that team is, they have a bunch of guys that could sort of, and I say this respectfully, kind of hopping into the very similar role that he
Hmm.
does. So if things
Hmm.
aren't going right first couple minutes, you could take them out early and filter them back in later on, however you need to. So
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting to see him start because I feel like the way he performed in the bubble, it was warranted as far as getting him a starting spot. And that's why I was on this show saying, like he hasn't gotten to that level again yet. Um, and I still firmly believe that, like, regardless of how well he has played,
Mm.
he didn't show that level of sort of
Aggression.
t- aggression, taking things into his own hands,
Yeah.
and the ability to control possessions at a time. Like
Yeah.
that's hard to do for any player,
Yeah.
even a lot of star players in this playoff specifically. Shout out to your Celtics. You've seen a lot of star players get shut down and not be able to do that. So you can't really knock him too much for it. But at
Hmm.
the same time, I think he's someone that's deserving of a step up and should get that chance. And he might even end up in a most improved sort of position if he's given that opportunity.
Okay.
I don't think they will though.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you not think that he should have been in the most improved player conversation?
For this season,
Yeah.
I don't think so. And the only reason I say that is because I feel the criteria for that award isn't exactly what the award says it is. I think it means obviously it's always going to be for that season, but I think it means more so like overperforming expectations as far like in general, not even just growing in that way.
See,
Um,
if that's the case, then John Morant shouldn't even been in that conversation.
I get that, and we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah.
Um, that's going to be a fun one. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I strangely am going to be arguing and siding more so that it was deserved.
Okay.
Um, but getting back on this six man of the year award, um, it is a hard situation. There isn't a lot of guys you could really point to.
Yeah.
Someone that I think doesn't get the credit he deserves is Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
Especially,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially because people act like he's a cone on defense, but he's not. Like he brings a level of intensity that does a lot for that team when he's on the
Yeah.
court. Um, the stats aren't at the same place though, so I get it. Like I'm not making the case either. I just think that's someone that was kind of left out a little bit this season. I agree with you. I think Tyler Hero is that dude. You just got to give it to him. I really like Cam Johnson too, though. I think
Oh yeah.
Cam Johnson's really good. It's not just threes that he's bringing anymore.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
big
he's
spark
driving a
off the
lot.
bench. Exactly.
Yeah.
And getting fouls too, which you love to see.
Yeah.
Big fan of his game. But yeah, it got to be Tyler Hero, right?
Yeah. 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 I'm not mad at that.
For sure. For sure. So next up, I'm gonna force you to lead on this one again.
Okay.
Defensive Player of the Year. Can you tell us who that was? I can't remember for some
Hmm.
reason.
Hmm. Who was that? The man that should have been winning this award. He should have been in the consideration for this award multiple times in the last couple of years.
Hmm.
That's actually he's been snubbed. He's been snubbed from even the conversation. Whether he should have won it or not is a different conversation. But he should have been in the actual excuse me in the actual conversation the last couple of years. Marcus Smart.
Patrick Beverly. I had to do it, man. No, nobody was going to do it. I had to do it. Where
Yo.
Chris Paul at?
Yeah, man. Actually, he's hilarious. I oh my god, Patrick Beverly is a character, man. Um, but no, Marcus Smart should have he deserved to win this year, and it's to me it's just good to see people actually paying attention to what is being done. Um, I mean, I think anyone that argued against him winning the title um are people that want him on their team. Like if you have him on your team, your defense just skyrockets just with him on the floor. There's a big difference between with him being on the floor and with him being off the floor, and I think he definitely deserved it. So I know Bam Adebayo said that he believed he should have won that. Mm-mm. Nah, nah, it's a different level. It's a different level. I mean, Bam is good, but he's not the best of the year. So
Mhm.
you know, I just leave
I
it at
respect
that.
it. I respect it. And now this is going to be. I'm gonna drop some knowledge here, and I think this is important. Now, I agree with you. I think Marcus Smart deserved this award. The fact that he got it this year is big. Like, don't
Hmm.
get me wrong. Just because I'm giving advocacy for other people doesn't mean I disagree.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really think it's important to acknowledge too. Obviously, big men are usually the people that this award gravitates towards. Obviously, it
Hmm.
makes sense. Those are usually the more focal parts of defenses. But the fact that he gives you so much on multiple positions
Hmm.
is really the key as far as what it means to be the defensive player of the year. Like it's not
Hmm.
just you're doing the dirty work in the post. That's what's expected of you,
Yeah,
respectfully.
yeah,
It's everywhere else. I mean, you see this guy switch on the forward sometimes, and he's giving them a run for their money too. So,
yeah.
all the respect for Marcus Smart. I agree. I think he deserved it. That will be my pick. But I think people need, and this is why I will say unequivocally that he is probably the best player in the NBA right now. I think Giannis deserves a little bit more credit for what he does defensively. I think a lot of people
Hmm.
just talk about the offensive side of the ball because he's
Hmm.
so dominant there too.
Hmm.
I think defensively, that Bucks team is nowhere near as good as they are.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
the fact that they finish top five in team defense this season is huge.
Hmm.
And he's a huge part on it. I mean, really, let's think about who else is on that team that that their key thing is defense on the front court side of things. There isn't anyone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Backcourt, obviously, Drew Holiday is a goat, and Chris Middleton's a little underrated there too. But Giannis is really good on both sides of the ball, so that's who I
He
would give some
is.
shine to.
Yeah,
But I agree, man. Marcus Smart deserved this spot in a big way, especially with the way this season turned out. So big fan.
yeah. No, I would have said Giannis deserved maybe some conversation. Drew Holiday. I think Tatum is actually a very underrated defensive player. I think if you actually watch how he plays, just like Giannis, everybody talks about his offense. If you pay attention to his defense, he is trying to put himself into the position because he's already said he wants to be considered defensive player of the year one day. So he wants that award. So he's going for it. Whether that happens or not is yet to be seen. But those three to me deserve consideration too, or
For sure.
at least some type of conversation. So
For sure. Awesome. I love it. I love it. Next up, rookie of the year, Scotty Barnes.
yes, sir.
I'm excited to talk about this one, so I'm going to take the goddamn
Please
lead.
do. Please do.
Just a throwback in a way that, like, usually now when you hear that, it's sort of not like a negative thing.
Hmm.
Because obviously you kind of want to be on the cutting edge. That's how this world is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think he's a throwback in a way that's really needed for that team, A,
Hmm.
and B, for the league to have guys that are really versatile at that position, first of all,
Hmm.
and B, take pride in competing like that. That is huge. That
Yeah. Yeah.
like there are guys and women in the WNBA who've made their career on doing just that. You don't have to be the GOAT. Shout out to Grand Theft Alvarado. Like, you don't have
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
GOAT at everything your position asks you to do.
Yeah.
If you could bring a level of intensity, because that shit is contagious. Like, it's not
It
just
is.
your output is affecting what you do. Your output
Mm-hmm.
affects what everyone else does. If you're willing to do certain things, your teammates see that shit and they feel the same way. Now you
Mm-hmm.
almost feel compelled to do that. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm a big fan of people that bring that. But just the high socks, short shorts, like I just love everything about Scotty Barnes. And
Yeah.
I think if he really focuses on developing his shot, I think he could really fit into that Draymond Green role. And I know a lot of people are sort of
Ooh.
pigeonholing him into, obviously you need to work more on your guard skills. You need to get better at doing certain things like that. And he's a great facilitator too. Like, don't
Yeah.
sleep on that either. But I think he was going to be an anchor for that team for a very long time, and I love that he got the award. Usually, I find there's times where number one picks just get it by default, like it doesn't even
Mm-hmm.
matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that for him that he was able to get it this season.
Yeah.
Now, I ain't gonna come on here and act like I'm gonna give the award to Josh Giddey. I'm not gonna come on here and act like I'm gonna do that. But name me a player in the NBA that has stats like Josh Giddey has. I don't think you can. And that's respectfully.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
respectfully.
Yeah. He had a
So obviously
lot of
we're a bad
opportunity.
team. We're a bad team. Yes, for
Yeah.
sure. For sure. And
Yeah.
I know that all plays a big factor. But I'm a fan of what we got going on.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. And you're gonna hear me talk about that again in a few. And I don't give a fuck at me. I've got uh Pistons fans already sending me gifts and shit. I love it. I don't know how you find my page, but I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. So I'm just saying, may not have been deserving of even being in that conversation, but I gotta hit the homer. I gotta hit the homer button a little bit, man. Josh
Yeah.
Giddey is gonna
Yeah.
be a really good, productive player in the league for a bunch of years to come.
Yeah.
As far as actual rookie of the year, like comp, man, the only other person I think that deserved to be in that conversation was, and I'm doing it again. I'm just gonna
Evan
Google it.
Mobley.
Yes, thank you so
Gotcha.
much. I do. We
Yeah.
talked
Gotcha.
about him
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
And it's not just because of the offense; it's also the defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a really big part of it. But yeah, that's all I got, man. I'm keeping it though. I got Scotty Barnes as my rookie of the year.
I'm keeping it Scotty Barnes too, but I wouldn't have been mad to see Evan Mobley get it because I thought those two were phenomenal this year. Um, I don't know. I, to me, those are just the top two. I mean, Giddy is phenomenal too, but I don't think that. I think I almost feel like we have to figure out what the criteria is too, because are we just talking about stats? Are we talking about seeding as well? Because these if that's in consideration, Giddy is easily one of your top guys on your team, correct? If I'm
Yep.
if not right, if not wrong. Um, he at that point, I'm pretty sure the bulk of responsibility for wins and losses would be put on, you know, on him with SGA. But to me, I don't know that that should be something that is in consideration with rookies.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because majority of the time you have a rookie come into the league, they're not helping their team like get to the conference finals. Majority of the time, they're not doing that. You know what
For
I'm
sure.
saying? It only depends on what team you're talking about, like how that team is built. Like Tatum did that his rookie year, but like if the Celtics were poorly built back then, he wouldn't have done that. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? That so I don't think that that responsibility should be taken into consideration. I want to see them talk about stats with that. Some of these
A little bit
awards
more.
I really don't care about stats being in the conversation too much. Because I think, and I say that because I think we get too heavy into analytics when talking about these awards.
Yep.
Um, we're not paying attention to like their impact on the court, right? Like some stuff is not going to be recorded. You know, your pressure, the pressure you apply to the opposing team, that's not necessarily recorded, but
The
you can
Intimidator badge.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, but you can see that. You can see where that comes into play and how that affects different players. So yeah, I would like for them to at least say what the criteria is, because if that's part of it, it shouldn't be a part of it. Not for a rookie.
For sure. For sure. And I think if we're talking about just stats, someone that got snubbed, someone that I think is going to be really good in this league, Jaylen Green.
Yo, yeah, 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 yeah,
Like he,
yeah.
honestly, I would argue upside wise, he's probably the guy that has the highest ceiling, right? Whether or not he
I don't think
reaches it,
so.
whether or not he reaches it,
I don't think
I don't
so.
know.
I
I think so.
I personally, I feel as Evan Mobley and Scotty Barnes are going to be on a tier that he might not. It might also be the team that he's on,
For sure.
but um,
It's a big part of it, in my opinion.
I don't know. As long as he's in Houston, I don't know that he'll be able to reach those heights that those guys can. Those guys are poised to actually reach.
As far as individual career goes, I won't be surprised if his numbers stand out more than those two guys because of the things that
His
they add.
numbers, yeah,
Because of the
yeah,
things that they add, that's a big
yeah.
part of it, especially defensively. He's no slouch defensively either. I
No,
think
no,
the
no, no.
effort is there
Yeah,
for him as well. And I think offensively, he's the guy that really has the biggest upside of this whole draft class, 100%.
wait till he bulks up.
For sure. Yeah, he's super young. All of these guys are real young. So
Yeah,
that I think the future is really bright in the league, to be honest. I
yeah,
think
me
there's a
too.
lot of
Me too.
good guys coming in and already there. Um, so yeah, that's exciting stuff. I would say, no, call me crazy. Call me
Mm,
crazy. You ready for this?
yes, sir.
I think upper bound limit as high as you could go, like as high as you could go. I'm getting, and please, if this is blasphemous, tell me. I'm getting T Mac vibes. Like, and
From
I'm
who?
serious. From Jaylen Green. I'm
Bro,
getting T
what?
Mac vibes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow.
So, and that's high praise. Obviously, there's a lot going down in Houston, and it ain't good.
Yeah.
The economy's tanking. Them strip clubs is in shambles. Listen, I
Yeah.
get it
They need Harden back in the worst way for those strip clubs, man.
for the strip clubs, not even for the
Not for
team,
the
for the
team.
strip
No,
clubs.
the strip clubs need Harden back. The Rockets don't care.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Now it's just company meetings and a bunch of sadness, man.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, call me crazy. That's my hot take of the day. I think
That's interesting.
it takes a lot. It takes a lot to reach your potential in any
Yeah.
sport, in life, period.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I think he, he has the heights to be that kind of a player, in my opinion.
That would be interesting to see if that happens. That would be. I don't see it yet. Not T Mac.
And that's fine.
That's
That's a lot. I know
I
it's a lot.
personally don't see it. But I could be wrong because I was saying the same thing about Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown, his comp is actually McGrady in terms of his handles and how he moves and his post moves and stuff like that. It looks like McGrady. Um, Maybe when he bulks up a little more, I might be able to see it, man. I might have to check out some more games next season because admittedly I didn't watch a lot of Houston Rockets games.
I mean, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Who has? But yeah, that's
Yeah,
someone that
yeah.
I think got left out of the conversation. That should be talked about a little bit more. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. Right? That's good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, man. So let me just put this in here. Sorry, I'm the worst.
No, no,
All
you're
right,
good.
next up, most improved player of the year. Now, this is something that we touched on a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear your reasoning. So please kick us off here. Obviously, it's John Morant.
Yeah, John Morant won the most improved player of the year. I think when you're a lottery pick, there's no way you should be considered most improved. Um, what the expectation is that you're supposed to be able to play like that. And we saw this coming with Morant already. This is not something that was like out the blue. Like, what the hell? He's actually nah. We knew he was going to be able to do that. you know. So I think that Jordan Poole should have been in consideration. I also think Robert Williams should have been in consideration. You look at both those guys and see how they played this year. It's just been otherworldly, and they've had a great impact on their teams, especially compared to like last year or the first couple of years in the league. Anyway, um, they made huge, like significant jumps this season. Even if they missed a little bit of time, you look at their stats, their numbers don't lie. So I would have put them in that conversation for sure. Not mad at either one getting that, but
All
Morant
right.
didn't need it at all.
Now I'm gonna surprise you with this because this is gonna be like, what the fuck? Where are you coming from? This? I'm gonna surprise you with this, and I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I think it needs to be said. I just want to check something stat wise before I say it, just so
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
100%. I agree with this. 100%. The person that should have won this award, um, not talked about, barely made the plan. Dejounte Murray from the Spurs, making a jump from
Yeah,
15 points a
yeah,
game
yeah, yeah,
15 points a game to 21, almost 22 points a game. But that's not the
yeah.
big one. You know what the big one is? Listen to this shit. 2020 season, he
Okay.
averaged. Let me pull. I fucked up. I set it up. I set it up, and now I don't see it. God damn it. He jumped from last season 6 points and almost 3 assists.
Oh wow.
Huge, huge. Like that. That's huge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
obviously, shout out to Greg Popovich, still doing the goddamn thing until the day he dies. At this point, that's what it feels like. The fact that they are a competitive team is a big testament to everything that that Greg Popovich does. But I'm just a real big fan of Dejounte Murray and his growth. And I just love seeing Derrick struggle to keep it together right now. Oh man. But yeah, I'm a big fan, and I think he should have been in that conversation way more than he was. But at the
I
same
actually
time,
agree with that. I
the
agree
same
with that.
time, though, I really do feel that John Morant is someone that deserves that. And listen to me, you call me crazy. I think the stats reflect it more than the play. Like obviously, we saw the potential. We knew it was there. We knew he was the leader of that team.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think the biggest jump in production, and the fact that the Grizzlies were where they were come the end of the season is what really put them over the top. I want to look in you. I want to look you in your eyes and tell you we thought the Grizzlies were going to be a top 3 team. I don't think any of us could have predicted that. So
I think I said five. I didn't say three though. Three
for
didn't
sure.
make any sense to me because I really when they pushed into the top of the conference, I actually thought they were going to fall toward like the later part of the season as they were ascending, and it didn't happen. I mean, they even this is also another reason why I don't know that I can use that as an argument for him winning that award because I want to say they won like 20 plus games without him.
Yep.
So they sustained that level of success without him on the court. you know. And then there were moments where when he was on the court, they didn't look good,
For
you know.
sure.
So that would be my counter argument to that. But I get it. At the same time, I don't like giving. I don't like the thought of someone that was. I think he was like, what was he, number two pick or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't like that he gets no. That's like saying like LeBron should have been most improved player like his second or third year. You got drafted to do that. Like that's what they expected. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost like rewriting the criteria a little bit, right?
It is like that's what I'm saying. Like there has to be some you know what? I almost, you remember how we were saying that the All-Star games the I'm sorry. Do we say the All-Star games the Hall of Famers should be voting? Was that the All-Star game or just the actual awards we were just talking about? The awards.
Yes.
It was the actual
The
awards.
awards, yep.
Yeah. So like to me, I think they're the only ones that should be voting on these. So I don't know. I can't make the argument for Morant being chosen by Hall of Famers of the top 75 um by them. I can't see that actually happening. I can't
Hmm.
think of like when I think of like Shaq and Barkley, like I can't think that they would have gone and said, yeah, that's the most improved this year.
For sure.
Nah. I can't see that. I can't see that. DeJounte Murray though, yes.
All right. I'm gonna just do it one more time because now I actually got my shit together. So sorry guys. This was 2022, all right.
Mm-hmm.
15.7 points, 1.5 steals, 5.4 assists, 7.1 rebounds. This season, 21.1 points, 2 steals per game, 9.2 assists a game, and then 8.3 rebounds a game. The dude is creeping up on a triple double. Like that,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. And who's that?
that's DeJounte Murray. And
Yeah.
I know I'm going right back to it, but he wasn't even in the fucking conversation. Like,
He
let's be
wasn't.
clear.
That and
He
that's what I'm
wasn't
saying.
even
Like
in the conversation.
that's why these things need to be revamped because there are guys that get screwed that aren't even in the top three voting that should either have been in the top three or should have won it altogether
Hmm.
for sure. Criteria needs to be changed.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think the point that you made about the Grizzlies being so good, this, not to say this, but despite Morant being there at times,
Mm-hmm.
I think that should play into into the role too, because you take DeJounte Murray off that team, uh, I couldn't even fucking tell you who's left. So
I who is left? Oh, Romeo Langford.
yep, yep.
I forgot he went down there, man. Yeah, I
All
don't. I
right.
mean, that ain't something you trying to lean on. So
Yes, sir. I'm like looking at the names now. What do you got? What do you got? David Vassell. Like I mean Devin Vassell. It's struggle city. We'll move
Devin,
on.
yeah.
We get the point. We get the point. So who would be yours? Because I made it clear who's mine.
Mm. For most improved,
Yep. I hope I convinced you.
you did. DeJounte,
Let's go.
DeJounte definitely should have been in that conversation and should have even probably even won that. But honestly, either look, any of the three, DeJounte, Robert Williams, or Jordan Poole, any of those three, to me, I'm perfectly fine with that. That's not even a losing argument for any one of those guys, but they should have been in the conversation, all three of them.
You know what? I'll tell you why Robert Williams didn't get it. You know why? It's that neck tat. And we'll move on. The next award, Coach of the Year. This was the only award that I fully disagreed with. That I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way. And this is a lifetime achievement award, and I respect that because he deserves it. Monty
Mm.
Williams deserves it. Let's just get that off the fucking plate
He should have won it
immediately.
last year.
Exactly. He didn't deserve it this season. Yes, they were the best team in the NBA. Um, but you made the finals. So
You were supposed to do that again.
exactly. And if anything, they got better and deeper in the front court specifically.
Yeah.
So it made sense for them to be in that spot.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna say it because I think it's important that I say it because you're probably gonna say it, but it doesn't matter. Ime Udoka deserved that award.
Yeah.
There's not a first season coach in recent memory that has produced at that level with the
Mm,
team that honestly wasn't expected to be in that place.
mm.
B overcame the fucking storm. Like, let's make it clear.
Yeah.
I like honestly, I don't even remember something like that happening. Period. Not even just
Ever.
like exactly. So big fan. I think Ime deserved it for sure.
Yeah.
And there's no real arguing. Like that's it.
No, because I mean, think about it. If you remember, um, I'm not sure if you were paying attention to the narrative that was around him around November, December, it was he needs to be fired. Fire him.
Yeah,
And the thing about it that I loved is seeing how the energy that he came in during the summer when he came in, how he like he set the tone
for sure.
right off rip how things are going to be. We're gonna focus on defense. We're gonna improve in assists, and we're gonna go for it. And they did it. Like he told Tatum, which I think this is the most underrated part of him actually coaching Tatum. He basically challenged Tatum to stop looking at these guys as friends. You need to go at them and attack. Because if you saw, like, that's what he was doing with Kyrie, kind of playing a little soft against guys that he loved, and you can't do that, right? And I mean, once he like nailed that message into his head, Tatum has just been like he's like taking no prisoners out there, and it doesn't matter who you put out in front of him. It does not matter. KD, Giannis, it does not matter. He's gonna go for you guys for those guys, and I like that. I like that, and they were horrible beginning of the season. As soon as January hit, that counter flip, they were they were right off went on to an amazing run. So yeah, he should have won that for sure. I think they just retroactively gave it to Monty, which I hate that because he deserved it for sure.
Correct.
Um, didn't Thibodeau win it last year
If he did, I'm vomiting in my mouth. I think you're right though.
because of the Knicks making the playoffs?
That's a market play if you ask me.
It
hundred
really
percent.
is. It really is because I mean they made the playoffs for the first time in God knows how long. Um, and he wins it, and well, they didn't even make it out the second round, right? Or
Dude, yep.
not even the first round.
Barely barely made it out the first.
So yeah, I'm over them giving awards to different people, and you know how we were talking about like we need open scoring in MMA.
Hmm.
I need that with this too. I need that with this too.
By the
I
way,
need
we
I
were
need an
just totally
explanation.
lying. It was Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse won it last year.
Totally lying. Yes.
So it was Thibodeau the year prior then. Um, why did Nick Nurse win it last year?
It's a good question. Google doesn't lie though,
What did
right?
the Raptors do last year? Like
I guess filling the void of Kawhi leaving. I
you're supposed to
guess.
do that. That's your job. You're supposed to find something to do. Like, whatever,
Yeah, that's funny.
whatever.
I love how we both just ran with it though. We both just ran with the Tibbs narrative. Totally.
No, because I know he won it for the Knicks getting into the playoffs. I don't. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong year, but he definitely just won it. I could have
Yeah,
sworn.
yeah, no, you're actually I fucking lied on the show again and I'm mad at myself. When I searched for some reason it gave me 2020. So that was Nick
Oh,
Nurse
got you.
2020.
Okay,
Tom
okay,
Thibodeau was 2021. You were right. I
okay.
am wrong. Kick me off the show. I'm sorry.
Good at that. You're good. Nah, but yeah, I don't like that they retroactively give awards out. So, um, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so I get a little overcorrecting on the steering wheel. I do it too sometimes. But
Not like that
that's a little
though.
too
That's
much. Yeah,
that's way too much, man.
for sure.
That's disgusting.
For sure. I agree with that. I mean, it's just like rewriting the category of what the fuck it means once
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, because if you can get your guys to buy in when everybody seems to be disjointed, if you can get your guys to buy in and actually flip the switch and go, that's different, man. Like
Yes, sir.
we don't see that, and especially as a rookie head coach, that's different. And he called these guys out too after losses.
Yes, sir.
Like
Needs
whatever.
needs to be corrected. We'll move
It needs
on.
to
We'll
be.
move on.
Yeah.
Uh Next up, these are fun actually. These next two I'm really excited about. All rookie team. Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham,
Oh yeah.
Jaylen Green, Evan Mobley, Franz Wagner.
Yeah.
Do you have any disagreements? Because I got a hot take, my friend.
I'm not mad at it, but I think I know where you're gonna go with this.
Oh, yes, you know where I'm gonna go with this. And listen, the stats may not directly reflect what I'm about to say,
Mhm.
but when Josh Giddey has a better PER than Cade Cunningham, Josh Giddey averages more assists than Cade Cunningham.
You know what?
Josh Giddey,
Take Kate out. I actually agree with that. I actually agree with
like
that. Yeah.
respectfully, in my opinion, there's no reason why things like free throw percentage should be the determining factor on who gets a
Hmm.
fucking all rookie team placement.
Hmm.
Let's be real. There's no way. I mean, he averaged almost two more assists than Kate Cunningham.
Yeah.
Uh, Give it to the guy, man. Give it to my
Yeah.
guy. That's what I need. I mean, it sucks to see him shoot 27% from three like that. That's the issue. It's the percentages, and I get it.
Yeah.
But if you're watching the games, you see the way he impacts it. And I think obviously everyone expected more. I would say of Cade Cunningham than the season he had, given that he went first overall.
I'm about to say he was a first pick.
Yeah. So there's a lot of improvement. I think for all this rookie class. I think the fact that it was this wide open really speaks to the sort of variance.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
like that. Don't get me wrong. But I'm excited to see what a lot of these guys do next season for
Most
sure, because
definitely.
I think that's going to be the determining factor. But that's my little hot take right there. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I actually agree with that. I actually agree with that.
Cool.
Cade to me was a little disappointing. Whenever I watched, I didn't see what the hype that he was getting. Didn't
For
see it
sure.
like I did with Giddy. So
And
yeah, I
even
agree with that.
like, and I hope this doesn't sound dumb, but the eye test, like the burst, the
No, that's what I'm.
all
Yeah,
of
that's what I'm
that,
saying.
like
Yeah,
it's not even just the numbers, it's not even just any of that. I feel like there's some things that stick out when you watch these guys, and I feel like he isn't in that group, respectfully.
yeah,
But I'm excited to see what Detroit does moving forward, because I think they got some fun pieces, not
they
for
do.
their
They
team,
do.
but for other teams. So it'll be interesting if they blow some things up or if they really try to make a run at this, which I will respect. But next up, the all defensive team. It was announced today.
Oh snap! It
That's what
was.
you was sleep on. So we get to get the live reaction from
Oh snap!
Derrick.
I
And
was
I'm
actually
gonna
taking a
make
nap
you,
earlier too, so I definitely
sir,
didn't see
and I'm
that.
gonna make you give me your thoughts first. Are you ready?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. Marcus Smart, of
Okay.
course.
Mhm.
McCall Bridges, of course. Now this is where things get interesting. Giannis, which is deserved. Jaron Jackson Jr., which is deserved. And now your favorite player, Rudy Gobert. That is your all defensive
What?
team. That is your all defensive team
Wait, what?
for this season. Yep. Get the guns out. Get the guns out.
What?
Get the guns out.
Oh
They were
man.
like, you know what? We already got Marcus Smart.
So
That's
but
it. We
here's
already
the
got
thing.
Marcus Smart. It's bullshit. I agree with you. I already know what you're gonna say, and I agree.
How? Like no, but
Where was
how?
their team ranked in defense? I'm gonna pull that up.
Please, because Boston was number one,
Yep.
and there were arguments that Robert Williams. People were. I wasn't making the argument, but there were people making arguments that Robert Williams should have been Defensive Player of the Year over Marcus Smart.
Yep.
So how is it that that he's not over Gobert.
Dude, you ready for this? Holy fuck, dude.
We're
I gotta
ready.
be missing something right now. I gotta be. Let me look over this again because what, dude? What? Let me count this. The Jazz were the 11th ranked defense this season, and you get all
Go
defensive
see
first
Gobert. You
team.
know what, bro?
You call it like it is, brother. I already know what it is. Just call it like it is. It's the mulatto effect, right? It has to be, right?
It has to be. It has to be because the fact that, and you know what, maybe not even just that, it's the international thing. There's the international factor as well,
It's a good shout
that
out.
I think um the more international players get recognized over here, the more draw that they get from overseas and everything like that, which is cool. But I mean, they're gonna get their draw anyway. It's the NBA. It's not like nobody's gonna pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Gobert does not deserve that. It's the reason why everybody was pissed at the thought that he could possibly even be considered defensive player of the year this year.
Yep.
So if that was the outcry for him even being in the conversation of defensive player of the year this year, why is he on the first team?
Yeah. You got to be smoking drugs, in my opinion. Like you really got to be you. That's just a reputation pick, and I hate
It
that.
is, it is, and trust me, like this is not a homer thing. I'm looking at strictly on impact and where your defense ranked. If your defense wasn't even top 10, why are you even being considered first NBA? Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
that doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, it may be a complexion thing, but it's to me it's more so the international aspect of it.
Yeah.
I think that international draw, you know, you could say that's possibly why Jokic won MVP. You could say that's possibly why uh oh my god, what was I about to say? Possibly why Luca's been getting so much attention as well. I mean,
I disagree with that.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Luca's
Okay.
phenomenal. No, he's phenomenal. But I mean that international aspect is a play of that too.
For sure. For
You know, in
sure.
terms of why he gets so many so much attention in terms of, I read something today that said Luca's been getting so much attention at age 23 and hype and all this stuff, when at age 23 Kevin Durant took his team to the finals.
Yep. Hey, hey. Let's be real. That could very well happen this season.
No,
You
it's
think
not.
so?
No.
Mavs are up right now, 31-25.
What quarter? What, what quarter? What quarter?
Just had to throw a little salt in there.
What quarter are they in, man?
Obviously, it's the first, brother.
It's the
Come on.
first. Yeah. Look, I got nothing but respect for Luca, man. That is, he is a slow assassin. But I'm not gonna sit
How
here
dare
and,
you? How dare you?
no, for real. For real. He plays the game slow, man. And it's weird how slow he plays, but no one can guard it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's very weird. So I got nothing but respect for his game. But come on. Come on.
I'm telling you, bro. Hey, I can't wait. I just tipped the hand on my series picks right there, but I believe in it in a way that I probably shouldn't, but I believe in it.
yeah, you probably shouldn't believe that.
We'll see. I mean, I picked the Warriors coming into the season,
Yeah,
but I don't care. I made that pick for this series, and I think it really has to do way
I
more.
respect it.
It has to do way more, honestly, with the full picture of things. They get blowout when they lost in general. That's just what happens when they lose.
Mhm.
But when they win, the same thing happens too. And I think it's important to note that. So
Yeah,
I'm excited to talk about that later because
yeah.
we're getting on that anyway.
I'm excited, man.
But yeah, that now I gotta ask you this before we move on to the meat and potatoes of what we got to talk about.
Yeah.
If there's a six man, if there's a six man on the defensive player player of the year? Who is it for you? It doesn't have to be someone that comes off the bench. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, it shouldn't be Rudy and in the top five.
He's like, Rudy wouldn't have been my sixth man. Yeah.
I would say Mikal Bridges. No, Mikal's
Yeah,
number two, right? Then I'm just gonna say Robert Williams. Then
Yeah, I respect that.
I'm gonna just say Robert Williams because it should.
We already
been him.
rewrote the team, so I'm not gonna choose that. But I feel you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with him.
Mine is Andrew Wiggins, 100%.
Good shout. I like that.
Tasked with guarding the best player every game, and the second. I mean, they were tied for first with you guys, so
yeah.
Very respectable season, and did it on the offensive end too. So exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Really
Drew Holiday should get a look at too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's just really hard to get two small guys on that team.
It is.
And I say that as they're both taller than me. But anyway, we move on. Listen, man, it's the conference fucking finals. Like, can we get this straight? There's no honestly, this is when the season is peak for me because this is one game a night. I don't need to sit around for 6 hours straight and watch multiple games where I'm like, all right, this team is gonna win by 20 and let's get the next game started already. It's not, that's over, baby. We got one game a night and it's fucking fire between the four best teams left. Let's start with me eating crow. Now I'm gonna say this outright. A big part of my pick of the Bucks making the conference finals had to do with the fact that I really felt like they had the best player in the series. And obviously we know the way that panned out. Super surprised that you guys were able to run away the way you guys did in game 6. Game 6 was the killer in my opinion. Super big performance by you guys, more than they shit the bed in my opinion. But there's some of that too. There is a little stinky. Shout out Amber Heard. It's a little stinky on this side of the sheet. But hands down, brother, hands down, I would say you got it. I'm sorry I doubted. It took a team effort, and sometimes that's hard to take into account when you're considering these series and the performances that you see. You get carried away. It gets exciting. But the ability to get it done on the road and the ability to be consistent, even when they slip, I think they're a team that bounces back in a big way. And I think that's really needed as you're this deep in the playoffs. So all credit is deserved. I'm sorry I came on the show with the blasphemy, but hey, it's fitting. Not many people have come out of that 3-2 hole. So please, it is your turn to take the floor, and then we'll actually get into how this series has been turning out so far.
Yeah. I think the refs stopped it from being over in 6.
Oh my god. You give the credit, and then I'm just reminded why I try not to.
Like honestly, Marcus Smart was fouled on that three shot, that 3-point attempt. He was fouled, and they said it was a 2-point, just a regular foul. It was a shooting foul. He should have been shooting, sure. and then they didn't call the foul from Bobby Portis onto Marcus when he went to get the rebound off of that missed free throw. So yeah, I mean, they cost them the ability to take that out in 6, but they got it in 7. So hey, it's all good. I'm
took a lot more from that Bucks team to get that win than the refs took away from but I respect
it. Look,
listen, like that was, bro, shout out to NFL Streets. I know you played it growing up, right? Yeah. I know you did, right? Tell me that wasn't as close as we see to a game breaker moment. Like the whole team was on game break. Like there was a game breaker activated. Let's make that shit clear.
Yeah, no, they let them play physical. I'm not even gonna lie about that. The playoffs this year have been physical, more physical than I can remember it being
Yeah.
in a long time, for sure. But you can't let one team be physical and the other one does the same thing, and they're not, and they're held to a different standard where they can't play that physical. That's my only gripe. That's my only gripe.
Yeah.
That's my only gripe. Because I saw Giannis elbow Tatum, excuse me, Tatum and Grant in the head. Never got called for
I
that.
saw that too.
Never got called for that. But for some reason, when Al Horford goes up for that monster poster on
That
Giannis,
gets called.
that
Yeah.
gets called. That's all I'm saying. That doesn't make sense to me. That's all I'm
I
saying.
agree. That specific call frustrated me too.
Yeah.
So I agree with that.
So they called it clean 5 through 7 though, as clean as possible. They called it five through clean 5 through 7 was as clean as possible. So I'm not mad at that. I just want the whole series to be called like that. That's all. That's all.
I like that. I
That's
like
all.
that.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. We can move on, right? Let's get
Yes,
into these
sir.
series, baby.
Yes, sir.
Heat versus Celtics. Now, off the top, do you want to do our picks at the end or right now?
That's up to you, bro.
All right, let's hold it to the end. Um, Game one was fun. Let me just say that clear. Game one was fun. Probably wasn't fun for you. It was fun for me. As a basketball fan, it was a moment to behold. And I think the fact that there's none of that, right? There's no, oh, well, that was on the refs. Like, there's none of that, right?
Yeah.
Like that was, it
Certain
was a,
plays you can say that, but it's not the majority. It's not the majority. They
yeah,
they,
yeah, yeah, for
they
sure.
called it pretty as close to fair as possible.
For sure. And I
Yeah.
think uh the level of that turnaround, I'm sure you were very frustrated as a Celtics fan watching that. Not just with the way it happened, but sort of the response.
Mm.
Please, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
I mean, they lost that third quarter. Obviously, that third quarter turned that whole
Oh,
game
really?
around. Yeah.
I didn't notice, bro. 22 point
Yeah.
run.
Yeah. It was
Fucking
like
nuts.
22 to
Yeah.
2. So yeah, I mean, that's hard to overcome when you let that go. And
Mhm.
especially when you were up at half, you know.
For
Um,
sure.
so I mean, they made that they've won the other quarters though, and that's what I coming from that game. I didn't like the loss, but that gave me hope knowing we were going to get Marcus Smart and Al Horford back. That they won all 3 quarters except that one quarter, and I know why they lost that one quarter because they didn't have Smart and Horford out there. So
Yep. Yep. That's
once you
very
throw
fair.
once you throw them back into the lineup, you see guys like Grant Williams doesn't have to do too much because he's not starting, right? He's
Exactly.
able to come off the bench, play his role. Peyton Pritchard able to keep at his minutes. Uh, you hope to not put Aaron Neesmith out there, but you know, it happens. It happens when you need to. You need to. I get it.
Yes, some moments. It was like 5 seconds.
Bro, he did a phenomenal job on defense. Like those two, yeah, what 2 or 3 blocks that were just like
Whew.
crazy.
Yep.
But then you go on offense and you can't shoot for anything. I
And you're
like you're
trying. That's the
trying.
problem.
I
That's the
need you to
problem.
drive into the lane. That's what you're supposed to do. I mean, in
Facts.
college, Naismith was a sniper, right? And that they asked him when he got drafted, what is the message you want to tell the fans, Celtics fans? He said, I want to be y'all sniper. I'm be that shooter, and I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna give him all that stuff, right? First year I got it. He was actually doing a very good job last year, but this year it's just like, dude, I don't know, bro. Like if you ain't got it, you ain't got it, and that's
Uh-huh.
fine. Revise your game though, because
Exactly. Yep.
defensively you're really good. Offensively is where you're struggling. Why you're a liability and why they can't put you on the floor.
Exactly.
That's it. And I think going into the offseason, after they win the finals, I think that that's going to actually be the reason why you could actually see some Neesmith get moved. I,
Yeah,
I,
it makes sense.
I
And
think
let's
it
just
could.
let's just say this: you couldn't build a house, but you could build a fire pit, right? With those bricks, you could at least build a fire pit out back, nice barbecue pit. Get everything set up the way it needs to be. And don't get me wrong. I mean, the
Yeah,
fact that
man. No, I
he
agree.
was forced into that role,
Yeah.
is big. But yeah, I think the biggest thing I was a fan of was Jimmy Butler having his "fuck you" moment. Just really, and you could argue that the refs got a couple things wrong. I disagree. I feel like he um something that I was talking about at my job was we were having a conversation about who's the best playoff performers, that when it comes time for the playoffs they perform at that level, and he's actually someone we didn't talk about. But after that game, that's sort of a revelation I had, and it wasn't just that game that made me feel that way, but I think he's someone that deserves to be in that conversation. And I think it
Yeah.
says a little bit more about the teams he's on, in my opinion, during the regular season than it does him just going in berserko in the playoffs. But I think co- cool it with that top five player shit. But
Yo,
um,
yeah.
yeah, prisoner of the moment stuff for sure.
People do too much with that mess. And honestly, like I'm cool with people having their lists and everything like that. I'm just like those lists fluctuate so often. It's hard to have a concrete top 5 or a concrete top 10 at least throughout the whole season. Portions of the season you can say, okay, he's holding this position or whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Not gonna be able to do it,
Butler
but
ain't gonna be up in that top 10. I tell you that. Not for me. I'm not putting him in my
yep,
top 10.
yeah, for sure. But I think he's someone that steps to the occasion in a big way.
In the playoffs, it's different though.
So I'm a fan. I'm a
Yeah.
fan of what he was able to do in that game. I'm gonna be the first one to say it. I got season six. I have a ticket that can prove it. That's my pick.
Okay. All right. All right.
But the main reason why I feel that way is the same thing that made me pick the Bucks. I think the fact that you have a better team synergy defensively and the fact that you have the best player out of both teams
Mhm.
is what matters the most. So I'm going with the season six, but I hope the Heat makes it exciting the way they have been. I think defensively, they can match a lot of the things you guys do as far as creating turnovers and getting out in transition quick. I think that's stuff we saw in both games. It's not just the first game where that happened. So I'm excited. This series is defense first.
It
And I've been
is.
getting burned
Yeah.
all playoffs, making bets on the under, like
Yeah.
literally getting burned. Like I probably lost over $100 betting on the unders of some of these
Oh
playoff
man.
games.
Yeah.
But hey, shit happens. You know what I'm
It
saying? Shit
does. It
happens.
does. It does. No, I
Uh,
agree with that. I think that I had Boston in 6 because of the fact that I thought there was going to be interference into the game.
oh my God.
But
You really believe that? Like you really
I
believe that?
wholeheartedly believe that.
Come on, bro.
Wholeheartedly believe that. And you can see that
It's a
in
close
multiple
series.
series. You can see that in multiple series, not just like just anything Boston is. You can see that in multiple series where officiating has altered the game a little bit. And that I don't like. That I don't like. But um seeing how Boston played game 2, which that's the team I was expecting game 1, um I almost want to change my pick from 6 to 5.
Wow, really?
I almost want to. I
How?
almost want to
How can you feel confident doing that when it's 1-1 right now?
because I think they're going to go on a 4 win game streak.
How dare you, bro? Man just said, because the math is mathing.
It's bad,
That's how.
yeah. No, but look, I genuinely believe that it's very possible. Because if you
You're
see the way
disrespecting Spo, in my
it's
opinion.
not Spo. Well, no, it's not Spo. It's not. It's if you look at the matchups, um, Jimmy Butler is doing his thing, right? Like
Mhm.
he's doing his thing. But game 2, no one else did. Bam Adebayo, I think, had 6 shot attempts.
That
6.
hero stunk up the joint too. Yeah.
And I think
They had
like
Duncan Robinson out there.
and
That's how you know
they were
shit got tough.
so I mean, and granted, PJ Tucker did go down. Um,
Yeah, that's
which
tough.
I didn't even see that. I was watching I
Same.
was just watching the game and then they announced. I was like, what? I didn't see
When?
anything. I just knew, he went to the bench. That's it.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so I'm assuming he likely won't be he won't be playing for at least 2 games because he had that issue with his ankle and then it went up to his knee. Anytime you have any structural issues like that, that's and you don't take care of it, it's gonna go up like that. So I'm expecting him not to play for at least 2 games.
Hmm.
Kyle Lowry, even if he comes back, that's still coming off a hamstring. You're not in game shape. Um, I don't see anybody else on that team that's able to contribute the way that Butler does consistently.
Yep.
And the way that Boston switches, bro, is that's different. That's different. You add Horford and Smart back into the lineup, that's different. And now you're getting Derrick White back, so it helps where you're not going to be able to see Neesmith on the court. The math is mathing. I might give I might stick with my pick and just say Boston is 6, but I would not be shocked if that thing is done at 5. I just wouldn't be
I
because
would be
all they needed
shocked.
was all they
I
needed
would
was
be shocked.
one in Miami. That's all
Hey,
they needed.
I think this series could go 7. It's not my pick, but I think it could. Um,
How?
I'll be honest with you, and this is going to be a shock for you. I think there's a lot of times where, um, and I hope this doesn't come off like a hater, but I already said he's the best player in the series. But I think there's a lot of times where between the getting mad about calls and bitching, and between the not wanting for whatever reason to accept the role as the primary ball handler in moments where things are already falling apart, I think that is something. And then just defensively, Spo is a fucking wizard. Like I think they're
Yeah,
gonna
he
bounce back
is.
game 3. I think game 3 is gonna be closer than you think. I just
Oh,
feel
I think it's
like
gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be closer. It's definitely gonna be closer than what 25 points.
yeah, exactly.
Boston's still winning that one though.
We'll see. I don't doubt that either, but I think they could split it in Boston too. It's exciting. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited about this series because it is fucking competitive.
It
Even
is.
when the games get out of hand, like you feel it. You feel the frustration. It comes across. So I'm a fan. I'm looking forward to seeing how the Heat bounce back. But if the shots aren't falling for either team, the Heat don't have a chance. Even if the Celtics are on the same rates, they don't have a chance.
Mhm.
But I don't think that's going to carry on for the whole series. I think they'll find games where they get hot, and that's where I think it makes a difference. But I still picking season 6.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna have. Let me put it like this: I think they'll be able to shoot a little bit better. But the way these guys switch when they're all together, bro, it's another level. I don't like. I just there's nothing else that I can say about it. When they switch, you can put whoever on whoever, and it does not matter. It just doesn't matter. Like you saw it against Milwaukee. Grant Williams did his thing defensively against Giannis, right? Giannis is not in this series. So like the fear factor that you might have when you're going up against a Giannis or a Durant, it's not in this series. Like I believe Boston got the hardest series out the way. I truly believe they got the hardest ones out the way already.
Including finals.
Nah, well, I mean, mm,
In the East, you're saying.
in the East, yeah, in the East, because I think personally, and I'll get into my prediction later, but I think whoever comes out the West going against Boston is likely going 6 or 7, but
Mhm.
Boston is bigger than both of them. So
Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff.
yeah,
Hey, you ready for this? Because I think it's good to move on, right? You're going Boston in
yes,
6-2, right?
yes, yes,
All right.
yes.
I'm gonna make you do it. I'm gonna make you do it. There's 7 minutes and 8 seconds left in the second quarter. What is the score right now of this game?
You want me to look? Or you want me to guess?
I want you to guess. I want you to guess because I'm looking right at it.
Uh, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Dallas up by 4.
Okay.
I'll say 50-46.
All right. It's 53-36 Dallas. in the second quarter.
God dang.
Yeah, my pick is Mavs in 6, and I'm saying it off the top, and nobody believes me, and everyone's gonna hear this and be like, "What the fuck?" I think they had a harder matchup against the Suns. I think the fact that they were able to bounce back after going down big in the
They
series
did. They
it
did.
speaks a lot about this team. And this is gonna sound crazy, man. And I don't feel good about saying this because I think Steph is an all-time player, like all-time top 15, getting close to 10. Like I think he's an all-time player.
Mhm.
I think the Mavs have the best player in the series too. And that's what
That's
is
not
really the
hard
big.
to say though. That's
I think it is. I think it
I
is.
no no no. I'm saying like I can see why you say that. Let me put it like that. I can see why you say that.
Sure.
It's not hard to believe that. I'm still gonna side with Steph. Like it's just otherworldly what he does, but they know how to respond. I'll put it like
For
that.
sure.
Golden
For
State
sure.
knows how to respond. So
And this game ain't over yet. Let's
it's
make
not
that
over.
clear. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What is that? 18 points?
Yeah. 21's a blowout. Pass the sticks, brother.
Yeah. I wish it'd be hilarious if they put those skunk rules in the league, man.
That'd
Like
be cool as fuck,
it would
right?
be
Like
hilarious. Like as soon as all
betters
right,
would be in
call it off.
shambles,
Call
bro.
it off.
Betters would be in shambles. What do you mean that the game finished 56-31? I should have put all my money on the under. That'll fuck up the over unders for sure. But
That would be hilarious though. Because I know some people have already made suggestion of putting a mercy rule into the league. Personally, as a competitor, I want to go at you until that buzzer goes off.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm foot on the accelerator. I know people don't like people
I
like
want you
guys
to
scoring.
feel every advantage we've gotten over you. I want
Yeah,
you to feel
because
every advantage.
especially if it's in a series, right? Because if it's in a
Mental.
series, it's a mental thing now. Like you just got drugged.
Yeah,
They just beat you. They drug you. Like
yeah.
and without any level of care or consideration. So I'm a fan of that. I know in 2K I don't let up. I don't like
Same.
if it's like 25, 30, I'm trying to push that thing to 40, 50. Like last couple times I've been playing 2K, I beat those
I
guys.
don't let the games go that long. I respect you for
I do
that.
12-minute quarters.
Oh yeah, you wildin'. Yeah,
Yeah, I do
yeah.
12-minute quarters. Yeah. Yeah.
My man said we are not running a 4 game series. We're playing one game. That's all you get at the Myers household. You get one game, and you better not fuck up because
I don't call
if I'm
timeouts
up
either, bro.
40, you
I don't
taking this L.
I don't call timeouts, man. I'm just
Gotta
like
call timeouts.
I
You
go
gotta call
unless
timeouts.
I need to, unless I need to make a rotation or whatever. That's the only time I really
Exactly.
call. That's the only time I call a timeout. Outside of that, I'm just like, hey, you like you're gonna play until I switch you out. That's it.
Exactly. Yep.
That's it.
That's how this
So
shit goes, right?
yeah, yeah. So yeah, hopefully, I think Golden State is fine. But
Okay.
yeah,
So I'm gonna obviously my pick is an insane pick, and the reason why I made it is because the reasons that I said. I think they had a harder matchup against the Suns.
no, it
I
makes
do think
sense.
I feel like Jason Kidd is underrated as a coach, even in his time in Milwaukee. I think he's really underrated as a coach, and I think we see that in the way that they respond. Obviously, the Warriors had such they cooked them in the first game, and it's not a
Yeah,
surprise to me, just because every time they lose, it's that way, and every time they win, it's that way. Like it's not a close game either way. But the main reason why I was convicted was just seeing the way they were blitzing Luca, and
hmm
I knew like I'll show you the bet. I bet the spread on the Mavericks to +6, which
hmm
means even if they lost, if they kept it within 6 points, I win my bet. I put over a unit on that. It's like that's a confident bet, and
yeah,
I bet the money line. So like I knew that the Mavs were gonna win this game just
yeah,
based on the way that Jason Kidd make big adjustments. I hadn't even watched the game, but I'd love to hear about that.
yeah. No, he does make adjustments, and I would almost make an argument that he's doing better in Dallas than he was in Milwaukee.
Hell yeah, yep.
You know, And that's probably also because of personnel. But if you look at what Dallas has on their roster, I mean, they got better after the trade deadline for
Yep.
sure. They got significantly better after the trade deadline.
Dinwiddie's that dude. Let's
Dinwiddie
just
is
be
that guy.
clear.
He
Yep.
is that guy. I like all like hats off to them. I think that would also be a place Rudy Gobert should go to.
Yep, for sure.
That would
For
look
sure.
they would look a lot
They would.
different.
I
They'd
like
be
their bigs, but
hard.
that's a good shout.
They'd be hard to play against because you gotta guard Luca, you gotta guard Dinwiddie, right? You gotta guard Brunson. You can leave Rudy Gobert wide open just trying to guard those guys,
Yep.
and they just feed him in the paint.
And lobs. Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, shoot,
That's a good, yeah.
I'm pushing for
Mark
it.
Cuban got the pockets. I'm telling you, he could
Oh
make it
yeah,
happen.
yeah, yeah. Throw out some Bitcoin too. Try and make it sweeten the deal.
Make an NFT of Little Wayne looking sad on the sidelines and make some money off of that. And next thing you know, we got enough to fix this cap issue. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
Tunchi. Shout out to Little Wayne for going absolutely
Yo, was
fucking
he
nuclear on
hacked?
Twitter. No, there's no way, bro. There's no way. My man's he got a little
That was
chopped.
wild.
He pulled a Chris. He smoked a late night blunt, took it to the face, and then just went crazy. And hey, sometimes you got to do that, but it was next level. It
It
was
was.
hilarious. It
I
was
admire it.
hilarious.
It was hilarious, but
Too much, too much.
he went a little far with that one.
But yeah, Mavs in 6. That's my play. Shout out my boy Logic. You thought I was lying. I told him this is my pick too, and he's like, "You're just saying that to me, like because I'm a Mavs fan." I'm like, "Nah, bro. I mean, just shout out to Logic, bro. Bengals,
Oh
Mavs,
man, I didn't realize he was a fan of the Mavs too.
bro. Bengals, Mavs. Like,
He's
what the fuck? Like,
he's
he's
gonna have
living.
fun. Yeah, yeah,
He's living.
yeah. He's gonna have fun for a long time.
Yeah, I'm starting to think he might have a part in both of those teams' success this season. But shout out to Logic. That's my pick. Not at all influenced by that. Like I said, I picked the Warriors to make the finals coming into the season.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
I didn't really like the stuff that I've seen out of them as far as the Phoenix series, as far as Klay Thompson's production, and finding a balance between Jordan Poole's 3-point shooting and driving. I feel like there's a lot of
Mhm.
times where in games he sort of takes himself out of games where you have to take him out because he just keeps trying, and I respect it. it's
Mhm.
it's the Westbrook fan in me respects it,
But it's also part of
but
the
when it's not
process.
working, it's an issue. Yeah,
It's
for
part of
sure.
it's a part of the process. That's guys like that got to go through that anyway. So
For sure.
I
Did you believe I have the chutzpah to come on this show and do this?
no,
Did
I
you
didn't.
believe that this is in the cards at all?
I
Okay.
didn't. Because I thought we agreed on who was going to the finals.
Yeah.
I see why you say that though. To me, Golden State is small anyway. Like
Yeah. Real small.
even if they come out, there's going to have struggles in the finals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I believe. I You're small. You're small. So I'm still probably gonna go Golden State in 7.
I like that. I like
I'm
that.
s- I think I said 6, but I'm gonna push to 7. I think that's gonna go all the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. And I'm not doubting that team at all. Like I'm a fan of the
No, no, no.
Warriors.
I
I'm a
feel you.
fan of the
I feel you.
Warriors, bro. Like I like watching them play. Shout out to Nat. I'm not trying to ruffle no feathers here. I sincerely believe it enough that I made a future bet on it. Like I have the ticket. Like
Yeah.
I'm not fucking
Yeah.
with you. Like I
Yeah.
literally believe it. So yeah, man. Exciting times. I can't wait to be proven wrong again. But hey, sometimes you gotta get to the fucking plate. You gotta give
Yeah.
yourself a chance.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking taking it, man.
Why not? Why not? That's not horrible. But I mean, if we see what would your
There's been way
finals?
worse takes out of me in this fucking
Yeah,
way
yeah,
worse
yeah.
takes out of me on this show
This
than
makes
this.
sense. This makes sense. I'm not mad at it. But would you want to do your finals prediction then?
Um,
Because you're saying Dallas and Boston.
yep. All right. Why don't you do yours first? Because I already know what yours is.
Yeah. Boston and Golden State. I'm saying that's gonna go 6 or 7. Boston winning.
Yep.
They've got no answer for Robert Williams. and Al Horford. I'm sorry. Like that duo, like everybody talks about Jaylen and Jason, rightfully so. But if you've watched what Allen and Robert have done all season long,
And together as well, like
oh my
they're
God.
dynamic together.
Yeah, yeah. And then Grant coming off the bench, that's different, bro. That's just different. So I'm gonna say out of respect for going to state, I'm not gonna say 5. I'm gonna say 6 or 7.
Yeah, you're crazy if you say 5.
Yeah, it was 5 would make sense.
Now I'm not saying this to piss you off. I know you feel like I do
This
that
is gonna be
sometimes.
interesting.
I'm not saying this to piss you off. Um, Same way you said that. I agree. I think the Mavs don't have an answer for that duo either. But my issue
Mhm.
is, um, I don't think anyone in the league can take Luca out of a game, whether it's passing, scoring. He could have 26 points, and then you'll look at that and be like, "Hey, he had an off game."
Mm.
But he affects the game in different ways. Now I'm this close to picking the Mavs. I'm gonna say Celtics in 7. Um, but it's gonna be that kind of series. Like I really firmly believe the same way you're like, well, they don't have something for this. There's gonna be games. There's gonna be a Jalen Brunson game. There's gonna be
Mm.
a Luca
Jalen
Magic
Brunson,
games.
Jalen turns into like the same caliber of player that Chris Middleton turns into when he faces us. Like he turns into Michael Jordan for some reason. I hate that mess, man. It's annoying as hell. It's
Yep.
annoying as hell.
I know after that first game against the Warriors, he was in the gym shooting a whole bunch of corner threes because there was a whole bunch of wide
Mm,
open corner threes that he bricked on.
yeah,
Listen, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of what that team is doing, and I
yeah.
honestly I really want to pick them. My only issue is I would argue, and you probably would disagree. I would argue that the Mavs have the best play in that series too. And as far as two-way players, that's where I give the edge to the Celtics. I think they get it done on both ends of the floor better than the Mavs can. Period.
Mm.
Period. But I think the upper bound limits of the Mavs offense is really going to give y'all issues. So I'm saying Celtics in 7, but I want to pick the Mavs. Like I'm going to be real. I want to pick the Mavs. I was going to do it.
I know.
I talked myself out of it, but yeah.
So let me ask you this real quick, real fast. Who's your Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, Eastern and Western Conference MVP?
Thank you for breaking that down because I had no idea that's how it worked.
That's no that this year is the first year where those awards came out, and for some reason we're giving out awards for the MVP in the conference finals matchups now. So
That's an interesting shout. In the West, it's either going to be Steph or Luca. Um, in the East, it's either going to be Jimmy Butler or Tatum. There's no other argument, right? Like it's going to
yeah.
be those guys.
So with
I
your
hope
prediction,
Jalen Brunson goes nuts and then
yeah.
just snatches it, but I don't think that's going to happen. So,
So with your prediction, it's going to be Luca and Tatum.
yep.
Gotcha,
What about you?
gotcha, gotcha. Um, I'm gonna say it's hard. I'm gonna say Steph for the West, but it's tough for me to choose for the East because I can make a case Marcus Smart gets it, but it's gonna be Tatum. But I
Yeah, it's
like
going to be Tatum, but
it's gonna be Tatum, but I can make a case that Marcus Smart is gonna win it.
hell yeah. I mean, just off game 2 alone.
Yeah,
Game 2 was fucking lit.
that was
Like
that was ridiculous. That
that's
was
not some shit that you can expect out of him. Like let's be clear. Every night,
you
that's not some shit you
not
can expect out
okay.
of him.
The way he shot from the perimeter,
Yeah,
yeah, that's not. He's done that more this year. I'll put it like
for
that.
sure. For
He's
sure.
strung those games a lot together a lot more this year because 2 3 years ago, when you saw him go off like that, it was like yes, like
Why are you? Let's
let's go.
go. Let's go.
That was my exact reaction, man. Like especially in the bubble, I was like, what the? Oh, okay, all right. He made
All
that. Good
right.
shot. Good shot. Good shot.
And then the next time you're still like, bruh,
Stop.
pass that shit, bruh.
But this year, you can maybe say last year, but more so this year, he's
Been more
he's he's
consistent.
been he's been very consistent with his outside shot. So, um, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see another one of those games. I would not be surprised if we see another one of those, especially
Sure.
with the way that Miami's been playing Boston defensively. They just give it to him, man. They give it to him. So
It's passing lanes or nothing for sure.
yeah, yeah. So I wouldn't be shocked if I see another onslaught of Marcus just shooting from the
Yeah.
perimeter, five, six threes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked from that.
They got to fix the issue. But when you got that many, let me
No,
not say it. Let me
I
not say it because I
agree
was about
that
to say some
Tatum.
shit just now. Let me not say it.
Well, let me go off one of your other takes though. I do believe that in game two we saw Tatum complain a lot less, which I appreciated. I
I
don't
mean,
want
how
to.
could you be complaining in game
Well, no, no, no.
two? Well, obviously, what the fuck?
I'm saying even when they were down 10, and there were some questionable calls or whatever. He wasn't like clapping his hands and just like, like he wasn't being demonstrative. He was like, all right, took it, just kept going. So I think Ime got him. Like I think he like really got him after game one because that's all he was doing game one. I don't like seeing that. That annoys the hell out of
Mm.
me. I ain't gonna lie, but
I love seeing real quick. This is a side note out of hell. I love seeing Grant Williams and Ime get into it on the
yo,
bench.
wasn't
Did
that
you see that?
beautiful?
Yeah, it
Wasn't
was
that
fucking
beautiful?
hilarious.
I
Because
loved
I'm
it.
like, this is if you're concerned about this, you're a fucking idiot. Because that's what
Yeah,
you do.
that's what
Even
you
when I
want to
play
see.
ball, the amount of times I've been fucking at the top of my lungs screaming at people that I chill with every day playing
Mm-hmm.
ball,
Mm-hmm.
screaming like, but now you actually garbage, bro. Like screaming like I respect it,
Yeah.
and it was just hilarious, guy. Where it was just let it go, let it
Yeah.
go, let it go. I took that gif and I got it. Next
Yeah.
time my girl's acting
Oh,
up,
you do? Please send
it's
that to
being
me.
sent. It's being sent. It's being sent.
I need that on my phone too, man. That's good stuff right there.
Yes,
Nah, but
sir.
I love seeing that because both guys are passionate and they know what to do.
Yeah,
They know what to do. So
yes, sir.
yeah, man. I'm excited. I'll put it like that. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, I think that's all for us today, right,
I think so, man. That was
bro?
another
How
jam-packed
long is this
episode.
one?
This
How
was
long is it?
close to 2 hours, I think. I don't have the timer up, but I think this
Yeah,
was close to 2 hours, if I'm
I'm
not
telling you.
mistaken.
I'm telling you, man. There's not
Yeah.
a lot to talk about, but we find we
We
find
find
it.
it. We
You know
find
what
it.
I'm saying?
Yeah, we got it.
Hey,
We we're not like ESPN and FS1, man, where they just kind of regurgitate the old topics when it's downtime. Like, that's what I hate watching ESPN during the summer. Hate it.
oh yeah, for sure.
It's so annoying because all
I'm a
we
fan
do
of
is
baseball, so that's probably why I feel a
oh
little different. But I
yeah.
feel you. I feel you.
All I have to look forward to is summer league and the WNBA. That's literally it when in the summer. So like
I
when
respect you for saying that.
no, I mean really like and I need the WNBA to get a Boston team, bro. Like I need a team. I need a Jesus 72 to 58 halftime. All
Telling
right,
you, bro.
all right. Yeah, they might be winning this game
It's
tonight.
gonna be a fun series, brother. I'm telling you,
Um,
it's gonna be a fun series.
but yeah, I need WNBA to bring a team to Boston so I can have a WNBA team because right now I just watch them a free agent. I need to sign with the team, so
I respect
you
that.
know,
I respect
yeah.
that. And hey, let me be real about something real quick because I think this is not being talked about on a lot of shows. Shout out to my guy Pat from work. This is actually a conversation he brought up, but I think it's important that I ask you
Mm.
if it was not Brittany Griner in detention in Russia, and if it was LeBron James. Um,
Ooh,
this is a different situation, right?
LeBron wouldn't even been over there that long. They were like, nah, get him out. Like, like they're fighting to get him out. They might
ASAP.
like Biden might send troops to go get him out.
That's exactly
It's
what Pat said. Shout out my guy Pat. This man was screaming. He's like, the National Guard would have
Yeah.
been. It was fucking hilarious. Oh man,
They're going to war for LeBron, man. And I
for
hate that
real.
Britney's still over there because she's a dynamic player, man. I mean, not just that she's a dynamic player. She shouldn't be
She's a person.
yeah, she
Nobody
should
should
be
be in
over there.
fucking jail for fucking weed. Period. That's how I feel about it. But
But she shouldn't even be over there.
exactly, yeah.
But like if the WNBA had their stuff together to where these women aren't having to go overseas to get to play to get paid, this is not even a conversation.
For sure.
You see what I'm saying? This is not even a situation. This is something that's just like this never happens.
Exactly.
But the NBA needs to bring the WNBA into the fold, like for real, monetarily, not just throwing shirts out and making random videos. I don't like
How
they
could they do that though? Like, how could, please? Because I have no idea.
if you if you're able to expand to different you're expanding your conferences out and creating other teams, right? That costs money, right? They're talking about, I think they were talking about having its NBA team, if I'm not mistaken, having maybe that was the NFL. Was that the NFL with trying to do with Mexico, or was that NBA?
I have no clue. I didn't even hear that. That's lit though. We
But
need a Mexican team, bro.
I think it was the NBA because you have an NBA team in Toronto, right? And so I think there was even arguments of creating more Canadian teams uh um for the NBA. So if you're in
Just move that.
any type of conversation to expand these conferences and add more teams, right? We're already talking about Seattle getting on the team and all that stuff, right?
Puerto Rico.
Which they should,
Puerto
and Puerto
Rico
Rico.
needs a team. Yeah.
No, but I think they are talking about that too. So like, if you're talking about all these places getting teams, why can't the WNBA come into the fold? Like, why?
I'm
They
gonna be
have the
real with
money.
you. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know if money is what can change that. Like I don't know if even if they were getting like even if you were pumping a stimmy of like 500 mil into that whole organization, like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that'll change. And listen, I'm a fan, but I'm not someone like I'm a fan of the athletes 100%, but I'm not someone who can watch the WNBA. And I'm a fan of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And that may be a hot take. That may be a hot take.
No, it's an
Take
honest
it
one.
take it as you feel it.
Yeah.
Um, but my main reason for that, and you could say I'm not a basketball purist. My main reason for that is when you look out. I mean, we've seen a couple times with the Heat. When you look out and there's not that same level of engagement,
Mm-hmm.
even if you have spectacular transcendent players, like I could watch the playoffs, but if you're in a situation where you have transcendent players and you don't that doesn't come across, like you don't
Mm-hmm.
feel that during
Mm-hmm.
the games, it doesn't matter what sport you're playing. Respectfully, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be able to hit those heights. And I
I
wish
get
it
that.
would. I
I
wish it
get that.
would for the athlete's sake. I wish it would. And maybe I'm a part of the problem. But I just feel like it really needs to be a collective effort, not just from the people involved with the WNBA, but from outreach and
Oh,
making
for sure.
this a bigger thing than
But
just
that's
sort of the look. We also do this because that's what it tends to
yeah.
feel like at times.
Well, that's a part of bringing the WNBA under the NBA umbrella, right? You get that marketing uh uh uh, uh team outreach. Like you get all that being under that umbrella because I I'm highly intrigued as to how the NCAA women's game is so popular and gets so much support, but the WNBA doesn't get that same level of support. They're coming from the NCAA.
Literally,
So how is it that they could come from the NCAA, go to WNBA, and they're in almost like worse shape?
I think it's a
How?
college culture thing.
Okay, yeah. So something needs to happen. There's a definite disconnect from the NCAA to the WNBA.
For
there's
sure.
definitely a disconnect because there's no way that there should be this level of support for women's basketball in college, but then when they get to pro, it's just like, forget them. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like it shouldn't
Yeah,
be
no,
that.
exactly what you're
That
saying.
doesn't make sense. That's not
No.
even logical. Um, because like honestly, I don't even watch college basketball, men or women's, but I know UConn is like that team,
For sure.
right? So if someone that doesn't even pay attention to the college game like that
Could know
knows
that.
that, why is it that the WNBA it doesn't like? There's some disconnect. That's all I'm saying. There's something, and I would almost venture to say there should be some of the NBA players that are getting these super max deals. Go buy a team.
That's a real good shout. Yep. You'll get
Why
it for
not?
cheap. You'll get
Yeah,
it for cheap.
obviously
Yep.
you would get it for cheap, and you could help with marketing.
Exactly. And
You know what I'm
building that.
saying? Because how is it that we're sitting here talking about LeBron James' school when nobody even knows if you like we know about the school, right? But we don't know like what those kids do over there. We're not paying attention to those kids like that, but they come up a lot. Like that school
Yep.
comes up a lot. That's because of LeBron being attached to the school, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Jalen Rose has had a school for years. People were not talking about that school like that.
Yep. That's very true. And actually, you could argue that they've been a more successful program
They
in
have
multiple
been.
sports.
They
In
have
multiple
been.
sports. Yep.
Yes. So what like how is it that we're able to talk about them like this? It's because these superstars
The
are
marketing.
attached.
Yep.
They're attached. So if you can if the Kyries of the world, right? Like he obviously has a strong stance in this activism space, right? That's one right there. Especially if you were a disciple of Kobe. Let me just say that. You know, if you were this mentee, then you know women's game was one of his biggest things that he
For sure.
wanted to actually get into. You know, like I believe he was actually starting to if I'm not mistaken, I think he was actually thinking about or talking about becoming a coach in the WNBA.
Yep. That's very true.
Like Derek Fisher is the coach for the Sparks, right?
Yep.
He doesn't bring that draw, but I guarantee you, if Kobe
It's
Bryant
Derek Fisher.
is Derek Fisher, but I guarantee you, if Kobe Bryant was alive and he was coaching one of those teams, if he pushed Derek Fisher out of that spot for the Sparks and he was coaching the Sparks, how much are we talking about the WNBA
Every week. Yeah. Every week.
every week?
Yep.
So I almost want to say some of these guys that do want to become coaches too need to go into the WNBA and coach.
How about this? Look, this is what we need to do. Pay me right now because this is how it works on the show. We find the solutions.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Same thing you said. I agree with you. There's only 12 teams in the WNBA, so this is what we
Which
do.
makes no sense.
I think it makes sense.
I mean, it makes sense for in terms of like how they're marketed, but it makes no sense because if you're an actual like a purist, like and a good sector of the NBA community claims to
Are
be,
yeah,
they should be supporting, which should
for sure.
drive more attention to the league, which then says, hey, let's expand. Because I
Listen,
like they need to expand the season. If they had more teams, expand the season out, right?
for sure.
We're not talking about these women going overseas to play basketball.
Yeah, for sure. I think the issue is, and please, if you feel differently, I'd love to hear your opinion.
Yeah, yeah,
I want to start by saying this. I'm a huge fan of women's athletics.
yeah.
Between combat sports, between boxing and MMA right now, what's going on, it's beautiful to see. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm an advocate for putting them on the same playing field rules wise. And
Mm-hmm.
thankfully, the NBA and the WNBA seem to be on that track, right? Is there any big discrepancies? I'm not aware of any if there are.
Mm-hmm.
My issue with it is I don't think there's enough women to fill more than 12 teams that are on a WNBA level.
I
Now,
think there are.
really, you do.
I wholeheart because if they're playing overseas, they can play over here.
Do you think so?
Yes. Yes. Now, are you if you're talking about superstardom, like superstars, that level of players, I don't know. I don't watch overseas for men or women's athletics, so I don't like,
No,
so
yeah.
I can't
Shout
say
out
that they're
Brandon Jennings. He's probably
yeah.
somewhere cooking someone right now, like as we speak.
Yeah, he's cooking someone in Vietnam right now or something. Uh, but no, I think there are women that are playing overseas that do have that level of play that can play in the league. There were from what I understand, there were women that were drafted in this last draft or the year prior that are no longer able to play because of pay, like they got cut or whatever. I don't know the whole story, but
Hmm.
you get drafted. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they were one of the lottery picks that that's no longer playing right now because the team can't pay her.
That's
Is that
criminal.
like
Yeah.
that doesn't even make sense, right?
But
So
how could we have more teams if that's an issue with 12? And it has to do with engagement.
it's
Like I
engaged. That's what I'm saying. It's because the WNBA is on 2K, bro. Like they're on 2K. So if you're saying that you can put them on 2K, they need to be under the NBA umbrella. They need to be. They need to be, and if
are
they
they not?
are,
Like I'm
I
I'm
don't think they
confused.
are. I don't think I think they just kind of like they support them because it's they're it's basketball and they're women pro league, and they support them. Um, but I think if they were actually in like under that umbrella, like for real, we would have the WNBA players playing in the All Star game. I don't want to see celebrities playing, bro.
Hmm. That's a good shout. I
You know what
mean,
I'm
it's
saying?
just so hard because the seasons aren't on the same trajectory. Like that's
They're
the
not,
issue.
but they
How
they
are you gonna
could
have an
start.
all-star game in the off season? Like
No, they could start. They could start right there. They could.
they have
I
to
mean,
start
I
a
don't
little bit
know
on
if
the same sort of and that you're pulling away from your fan base. Like that's the problem. Like I would assume,
I would argue that's actually like that's giving advertisement and showing like, hey, these women can play on this level.
bro,
Go watch.
if the Sparks is playing and the Celtics are playing,
Oh, you saying men and
like
women
you can't have
against?
those things.
I'm saying
No, no, no,
mixed.
no, no.
I'm saying mixed.
Oh, like men
I'm
and women in the All-Star
because
game at the same
they
time.
do it with the celebrity game,
Celebrity
bro.
game. Yeah, yeah, for
They
sure.
do it with
I
the
know.
celebrity game. You
Yep.
have men and women on the same team, and they're playing very well.
Yep, for sure.
So why is
I
it that
get
the
that. That's
WNBA
fair.
can't play in there?
I thought you meant like to have the WNBA's All-Star game on All-Star weekend. And
Oh,
that's what I was responding to.
no. I'm
But that
saying
makes
like
a lot more sense.
those
Sorry.
players could play there. They could.
For sure.
Skylar Diggins would eat.
Cook. Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? She would like. Oh my god. Uh,
Anyway.
all I know is that it's criminal that these women have to go overseas to play just to make some more money than they're making in the league.
NBA.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Hell yeah.
So the NBA needs to step up even more. They're able to find money
Grow
to
it.
give to.
Grow it. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They're able to find money to invest in all these other causes and stuff like that. And if you're able to do that for the WNBA as well.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
man.
saying.
Figure it out.
Figure
Figure
it
it out.
out.
Because like you said, it's not like a zero-sum game. There is things to be gained there.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan. I think the main thing is I'm not a fan of. I keep saying that, and I feel like I'm sounding like a dickhead, but I'm not a fan in the way that I'm watching. I'm a fan of women's athletics and the fact
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
being put on the same um, playing field. I am an advocate for that, uh, regardless of whether or not I'm a supporter. I'm an advocate for that. My
Yeah.
main thing is make sure everything's the same as far as rules, and then that partnership is way easier to continue forward with. And you can't tell me that people won't be excited for it. We just saw a million plus people tune in for a women's boxing fight. We've seen that happen many times for
Mm-hmm.
other events involving women, even the Olympics, things like that. The,
Mm-hmm.
the the audience is there. I
Yeah.
just think it's important that as someone that is a basketball fan that seeks this information out, I have a hard time even knowing most of the time when these things are going on, including the season, including the playoffs. So there
Yeah.
is something that needs to be done there for sure. I just don't know how you do it. That's the
Yeah.
issue.
I mean, their season is like what, 3 months long.
Exactly.
So it's hard. It's hard. It is difficult to know when they play. I can't lie. Like I sometimes they're playing like during the day.
Yep.
So how are you expecting to get more people to watch when they're at work? You see what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like that doesn't make any sense.
And I
Like
wonder what the reason for that is. I mean, there is
adjustment.
day games too in the NBA, but
Yeah, but far and few between.
and there's
And on a
more
Sunday.
games.
Yeah, it's like on a Sunday too. It's not like you're not seeing the Lakers play the Clippers at 1:30 on a Wednesday.
But I think the issue too might be the competition of the two, because I would imagine everyone that is a WNBA fan is an NBA fan, right? Every single
I would
person,
imagine. I'd
right?
imagine so.
Um, my reason for saying that is you can't have them playing at the same time because you're all where everyone's gonna go. You
Right.
know what I mean?
But
So
but but during the season, okay, put it like this, during the playoffs, you know ahead of time what days games are scheduled
exactly,
for. Schedule in between. Or how about this? Schedule before or after one of those games.
that's a great shout.
It's
They
not
need to
that
pay this
hard.
man. They need to pay this
It's
man.
not that
Yeah,
hard.
exactly. Stay for the conference finals. Who knows?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're watching some
I
WNBA.
bro, these games don't start till 8:30 right now.
Yep. Same channel. Throw on Liberty
So
versus the Sparks. Yeah.
you tell me after the game we can't watch them? I don't watch
Bro, you know how late
ESPN.
that is.
We'll start before then.
Bro, you know
Start
how late
before.
that is.
6:30 games would be a lot better than a 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock game.
Yep.
I'd be able to watch that. At worst, catch it at second half. You know what I'm saying? Something like
Yeah.
that. Something like that. But it can't be that these games are thrown sporadically during the week. And like I went to an Atlanta Dream game. I swear it had to be like a Monday on at 1 o'clock. I
I'm sorry to
swear.
laugh,
I,
but that's fucking hilarious.
like I swear, bro. And no one was there. Because guess what?
Yeah.
Everyone's at work.
Yep. Give them a chance. That's what you're
Give them a
saying. Give them
chance.
a
That's all.
fucking chance. Yeah, I
That's all I'm
agree.
saying. That's what I'm saying. There's something there that people would watch. It doesn't matter that women aren't dunking like they do in the NBA. That's not. I mean, that's part of a marketing thing, but the way that the game is being played now, where women are, I mean, players are just shooting more, right, and shooting from further back. Women are doing that too.
For sure.
So that's another way to market it. So if women aren't dunking, market their shooting, because they're
Mm-hmm.
shooting at a higher clip. they're shooting at an amazing rate. Some of them have better percentages than NBA players. So I don't want to hear that this is an issue that they can't figure out. They can figure it out.
It's a good point. I really like that. And the ideas of sort of the lead-ins and all that, I think that's really important because the season, if I'm not mistaken, is starting. It's the early part of the season right now.
Yeah, they I think
So
they're 2 or 3 weeks in.
exactly. So yeah, the
Yeah,
timing is perfect. I
yeah,
agree with that 100%. I like
yeah.
that a lot, and it's the same fan base. So what can you lose?
All you do is
What can
switch
you
the
lose? Yeah,
channels.
exactly.
If even that.
Yeah, don't even make them switch channels. I agree with that.
It's the same one.
I like it. I like it.
So
The incentives are there, man. You're gonna fucking make some money, right?
yeah,
That's what it's about.
yeah.
So I agree. I like it. Well, I'm glad we got into that conversation because
Yeah,
that
man.
that was nowhere near the fucking docket today. Let's be
No,
clear.
no, we were not. I've been actually wanting to talk to you about that for like 4 weeks now. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Nice.
Yeah. I forgot
Nice.
all about
Awesome.
it. So yeah.
Yeah, shout out to somehow this became about LeBron. And that's
Everything
how
comes
we got
becomes about
here.
LeBron, bro. You can talk about the Cowboys and it somehow becomes about LeBron.
Yeah. Well, he was a fan since sixth grade. Yeah, it's
Man,
great.
yeah, yeah.
But Dude, this has been a really fun one, man.
It's been
I
great.
think I think we were in rare form today,
Oh
so
yeah. Oh yeah.
I had a great time.
For sure. As always, bro. As always.
Yes, sir. So please
So,
take us home. Take us home.
all right.
Tell us what the important things are.
Yes, sir. Well, the most important things, look at OTS at OTS Media Co. All social media platforms, otsmediaco.com. Like I said, beginning of the show, otsmediaco.com. Check out all the other shows. We have fans is coming to you guys next week with a new episode. I don't want to really tell you too much, but it's this episode is going to be a breakdown of what's it called? Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Kendrick Lamar's new album. So please check it out. It's gonna be a phenomenal
Big one.
episode. Yeah.
Big
So
one.
yeah, show's coming back with a force. Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
check it out. It's gonna be real good. But again, as always, please check us out on all social media platforms. But also rate, review. Let us know what you guys think of the show wherever you're watching and or listening. If you're watching on YouTube, do not leave this video without hitting the subscribe button. I don't care if you don't hit the notification button, but you should hit the notification button and you should hit the like button as well. All three buttons you should be hitting every single time you watch the show. Every single time.
Except for the subscribe one, because then you unsubscribe.
Yeah, you will
muddy
unsubscribe.
waters.
So
But I feel
yeah, my bad. Yeah. Hit the like, hit the notification every time you watch. Hit that subscribe, that one button, that one time.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
Yes,
hey,
sir.
make sure you follow the man too. I mean, you're too humble. You're
Oh,
too
you can
humble.
follow me if you want. I'm funny, but you can follow me if you want. At Derrick _ OTS. DERRICK, the black way to spell it. And
Hey,
that's it.
if you want to hear a little bit more about finding out the effects beats have on your urine, check out my Instagram as well. I mean, my Twitter as well. You can find me at Negrong MMA, as well as on Twitter at Chris Negrong _. I got a really lot of fun stuff coming up in the hopper right now. I'm going to take a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit of a step back. I promise it's regrouping for what's to come, not just slacking off. So
Looking forward to it.
excited for that. Really looking forward to it. I think it's been really cool to see the support that I've been getting. It's almost how do I say this without getting sounding too corny? It's almost overwhelming. Like there's been a lot of times where I felt not like there's a lack of motivation, but I felt like you know things aren't the way they want to be,
Mm-hmm.
and the way I feel today is the opposite. I feel I'm just so blessed that I have this level of engagement and I get to talk to a lot of people who are just as crazy as I am about all this shit. So
Yeah,
thank you
man.
so much for all the support you guys give on all platforms. I really appreciate it. Make sure you check out the MMA archive. I can't wait to go back to the MMA archive proper. It's going to be so fucking lit. Can't wait to go back and get back to where we started, baby. That's the important thing. So
Yes, sir.
really exciting stuff. My cat's screaming at us here to end it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna end it on that one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all have a good one and make sure to remember leave your hash at home, please. Have a good one, guys.